Hello everybody. Last night, Beto O'Rourke and Greg Abbott were nominated by their parties to be the gubernatorial candidates for the 2022 election. Greg Abbott was nominated by the Republican Party for a third term in office, and Beto O'Rourke was nominated by the Democratic Party for a first term in office. You know, he has not been in office yet. So, Greg Abbott is the incumbent. Beto is not. So, I just want to, this is not necessarily a prediction. We might look at it a little bit, but really, I do a lot of 2024 election predictions because it's pretty easy to characterize individual states. Of course, it's not certain because so much could change by then. But it's just a rundown of who would most likely, have an appeal in some areas and likely win those states and therefore win the presidency. This is a bit different. This is a governor's race and I believe that it really will be swing. I think that a lot of people are underestimating Beto O'Rourke. And let's look at their percentages. No surprise here. What's this site? The Texas Tribune or something? Beto O'Rourke has won the Democratic nomination easily. But look at this. He has won 92% of the vote. It was just how he was polling. I believe he was polling. Let's see, we can check. Well, he actually did much better than he was polling. He was only polling around 75%. But he has won 92% of the vote. And get this, Beto O'Rourke is not the incumbent. Now, you've probably heard of Beto O'Rourke. He became legendary and extremely loved in the Democratic Party after he ran for Senate in 2018 against Ted Cruz. Beto O'Rourke won. He did not win. He lost by 3 percentage points in such a traditionally conservative Republican state like Texas. Most people figure that, but his almost win in 2018 really made, it really put Texas in that not toss-up, but in that column where it will become a battleground state. And I believe it will. I mean, if you look at the metropolitan areas like Houston, Dallas, El Paso, where Beto is from, they're growing. And like in Georgia and the Atlanta metropolitan area, what does that mean? That means more city votes. And what does that mean? That means more Democratic votes. So really, and Texas is gaining electoral votes. We have to remember that. We could look at it here that now they have, this is my recent prediction. They have 40. I believe in 2020 they had 38. That's a pickup of 2. That's a lot. If you really look at it, that is a lot. Well, states like West Virginia and Michigan their electoral votes are being subtracted. So really, it's very interesting to see. Because Beto O'Rourke, I believe, really has a shot. Now, we did look at his percentage win, but that's not it. Let's go to Greg Abbott's win. Now remember, Beto O'Rourke is not the incumbent. Well, we look at Abbott's win. Look at that. Abbott has carried 69% of the vote. Sure, it's a lot. He's easily the winner. That's 19 more points than half. Well, we should say 18 more points than the majority. Well, he's the incumbent, we have to remember. And any incumbent who's running for a third term, especially not only second term, but a third term, they should win their party's nomination easily. Their party should want to stand behind their governor. And also, in addition, this will likely, it's surely going to be a red wave year in 2022. The president is unpopular, and Republicans are encouraged to run. So let's look at Abbott's opponents that he did win against in the primary. Don Huffins ran against him, a former state senator. A TV host named Chad Prather ran against him. But more importantly, the former Texas GOP chair, Allen West, ran against him, and West was his chief opponent. It was really interesting to see, because we see the former Texas GOP chair. He was the chair of the Republican Party running against the incumbent. Allen West is the type of person, Chad Prather, I guess, I get, because he's a TV host. He's not affiliated with the Republican establishment down there. Allen West is. Allen West is the exact type of guy who you would expect, and Republicans would hope, would endorse Greg Abbott from the beginning, because Abbott's the incumbent. But no, these people are running against him. And of course, there were the power outages, the entire storm, the winter storm from 2021. And that's going to stay in voters' minds. That's not the type of thing that's just going to leave voters' minds like that, the snap of your fingers. It's going to stay in voters' minds. So really, it is too early to call. And just to look at polling, I don't think that polling means much as of right now in the general election. Here it is. Because different polls show different things. I mean, one showed Beto narrowly. Here it is. Beto narrowly leading him. Some show, but the vast majority show Abbott up. But some are close, some are not close, some are up. Show him up by 5. Whatever. Really, as of right now, Greg Abbott does have a better chance of winning, just because there are more Republicans than Democrats in the state of Texas. But really, the thing is, Greg Abbott needs to turn out Republicans. This election all depends on Republicans. And with these primary opponents and Beto, not the incumbent, winning more than the incumbent on the Republican side, that really shows a lot. So I just want to take a look at it. So our matchup, Wikipedia has updated the top. So we have our 2 candidates. And only time will tell. I will definitely be covering this race. I'm extremely intrigued in any election with Beto O'Rourke, really, to be honest. I think he's a very interesting guy. And, I'm not saying that I agree with him on any issues or anything like that. I just think that it's really interesting how many people you can turn out. But I'll definitely be covering this. But I just want to talk about that for a second. And I think that this will be a close race. So, thank you for watching, and I'll see you all tonight.